Today we're going to be pulling the motor mounts on this guy, or unbolting the motor to rock it back a little bit to be able to get to the manifold bolts to replace the manifold gasket. And it also make the replacing the power steering pump a lot easier too. Just to have it up. Figure take care of this stuff now while it's a lot easier to get to, and then we can focus on putting the truck body onto that. This actually appears to be pretty simple on this car. This is a K-member, cross member here. And then in these two little holes, there's just one little nut. Apparently holds, that's all it holds the motor mounts in. There's one. There's two. So this is where the power steering pump is located. Kind of wedged down in there. So I figured it'd be easier to rock the motor back and then get to it from there. But looking at it, it might just make more sense to come at it from the bottom. But either way, I'll still want to rock it back to be able to get to these really tough manifold bolts here. These manifold bolts are surprisingly coming out pretty easy. One was already broken off in the block right there. I'll just hit that with an easy out, but I've been soaking these in PB Blaster for probably about a week. Just coming over and hitting it probably once a day, hitting all these studs with the PB Blaster, and they're coming out pretty easily. Surprising. Alright, so got the exhaust manifold off and had two break off in the head, but they were already broken when I got here. It was this one and this one. The rest came out just fine. But yeah, that's totally not totally uncommon on these with the weight of the exhaust system. There's no hangers all the way until towards the back for the exhaust system, so I'm guessing that's why they were already broken. Well, this power steering pump replacement's proven to be a tough job. You can get every bolt out except for there's one hiding right behind that high pressure line. So that's tight. So I think what I'm going to have to do is pull the pulley off to be able to get to that. What I thought about doing was getting a wrench on that nut and slowly back it out and let the pump fall as it's coming out and give me a little room between the high pressure line fitting and that bolt there. But these coolant hoses, there's not enough room to get a wrench in there, and certainly not enough to get a socket. So yeah, that pulley's gonna have to come off. I'm getting ready to remove these manifold studs, these broken manifold studs in here, and there's kind of a couple of ways to go about it. Well, there's several ways to go about it, but two of the most popular is probably the easy outs. These aren't great, but they're expensive. I don't really like them because if you break one off inside the head there, that pretty much guarantees you a trip to the machine shop and pulling the head off, and then you're gonna have to replace all those gaskets. So sometimes these expensive little easy outs can cost you a lot more money in the long run. And if you use cheap easy outs, they're just as hard. These things are made of very, very hard metal, which also makes them kind of brittle. And if even the cheap ones are very, very hard, and that breaks off in there, yeah, that's pretty much guaranteed trip to the machine shop, because you need special diamond tipped drill bits to drill what's left of the easy out of the head. Whereas if you go the way that I tend to like to do it, is just to use a tap. Find the center of the bolt, center punch it, use a small drill bit, and go up and up and up until you get close to the threads on the head there, and then go and just work a tap in and out. And you know, these taps, I think on the Crown Vic, it's 8 millimeter by 125. Yeah. These taps have little channels where when you go in and out, run it in and out, it'll be pulling the what's left of the fastener out through these channels. And to me, it takes longer, but it's a guaranteed safe way to remove these studs without having to mess up, breaking easy out, pulling the whole head off, replacing all the gaskets, paying $200 to a machine shop, then however much in gaskets just to save a few minutes. Well, probably save a good hour, but still, knowing going the safe, slow way is the way I like to do to get these out. And if you're asking why are we doing this on an F100 swap, why am I showing you these manifold stud removal things? Well, it's because a lot of these Crown Vics have exhaust leaks, and probably 90% of the time it's not the gasket, it's the stud has failed and it's opened up enough room for the exhaust to leak out. So chances are, if you buy an old Crown Vic, or even this is an 08, if you buy a Crown Vic that's got a lot of miles on it, it's probably got an exhaust leak up here. I've seen a lot of them that do, and you're probably gonna have to go through all this. Okay, so worst case scenario here, the little tab that goes around here, it was already cracked, and trying to drill that out, it just fell off, and you can see there's some of the threads there. So this head is bad. So I'm going to have to pull this head off and replace it with a different head. No saving that one. I mean, possibly. I guess I could take it to a machine shop, have them aluminum weld, and then try to drill that out and retap it, but it'll probably end up costing the same amount as just getting a different head. I don't know. I'll see which way I go with it. But yeah, that's no good. Well, patience and perseverance has paid off. Got it on there. I was looking at blueprints of the heads of these 4.6 liter for the Crown Vics, and found that in this little area there's no oil galleys or coolant galleys or anything. So I just drilled and tapped a new hole and made a flange on the manifold there and welded that on. So that'll work. It holds tight, so we'll see. Worst comes to worst, I'll just do the head thing anyways. Well, my memory card was corrupt, so I lost the footage of installing the power steering pump, and lost some of the footage of getting this side, the driver's side manifold off, and how I showed how I tapped or drilled out those studs, and how I started with a little drill bit and worked my way up to bigger. But apparently with a corrupt memory card I can't recover that footage. So yeah, I'll show you here. You can see it, power steering pump is on. All hooked up. So yeah, next video should be, yeah, sorry this one's short because of corrupt files, but the next video will be removing this evap canister and the lines for that, and then starting to build the brackets. And we're going to cut out the step on the pickup right here, because the Crown Vic frame rail will sit right in here. So we need to cut this out, then cut out these fancy new cab mounts from Carolina Classics that I just installed. So we're going to still use them. We're just going to cut into them a channel for the Crown Vic. And that's really all we'll have to do to be able to get the truck on to the frame. So yeah, sorry this was short and probably a little boring. We weren't playing with the truck. Next video will be longer and we'll be playing with the truck. See you next time.